EURUSD has continued to push up higher in line with my overall expectations, with the dollar pushing down lower. Now, looking at EURUSD, we can currently see that we've broken out of that 4-hour area of consolidation in towards the upside. Now, as I mentioned in yesterday's market outlook, guys, I was expecting the market to potentially continue to overall leg up higher. Now, main reason being is because the market structure of EURUSD is still very clearly bullish. If we look here at the daily time frame, we have a clear break of structure in towards the highs. This here's your swing low, this here's your swing high. The overall market made a retracement in towards the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement level, which is obviously also kind of like the premium versus discount level. And then from that 0.5 fib, after grabbing liquidity underneath the little bump in the road that we had over here, which acted as liquidity, we can see that the overall route in towards the upside has continued with a little pause, a little break here throughout August, where the market was consolidating in anticipation of NFP. Now, obviously, NFP came in worse than expected, pushing up EURUSD and us grabbing liquidity so far above this trend line. Now, what I'm looking for in EURUSD, very simply said, and I don't need a lot of lines or a lot of let's say liquidity points drawn out. All I can say is that for now, my next target for EURUSD is for it to continue pushing in towards the overall swing high here of 1.18299. Now, will it head there in one straight push? I am not sure, but for now, the overall order flow remains bullish, with this demand zone now being in control. Going into the 4-hour time frame, we can then again refine that overall 4-hour demand zone to the immediate order flow, which is this 4-hour sell before the buy over here. There's also a 4-hour sell before the buy still open over here, which we could also still push into, but overall I'm just looking for EURUSD to continue in towards that overall liquidity high. Now, this is in alignment with what I have overall for the dollar index as well, which I see pushing down lower. For now, the dollar index for me makes more sense to start pushing in towards this black line over here. For now, this here is my area of supply, this buy before the sell, and the overall order flow is expected to continue pushing down lower. Now, before this, I had an area of demand drawn out in this overall, let's say, imbalance candle over here, but you can see that we've now broken that overall imbalance candle. And at the beginning, let's say I was looking for continuation in towards the highs, but you can see that every single time we get a drive up, we just form a lower high, a lower high, a lower high, and we form lower low, lower low, lower low. Now, at some point in time, the overall, let's say, energy within that demand zone is just finished, and it's just not going to push the market up any higher. Yeah, for now, I'm looking for this supply zone to continue pushing the market down lower. Now, obviously, the first next target is this little liquidity low over here of 97.109, but preferably I would just see the dollar move a little bit lower towards this 96.377 level. Looking at the weekly time frame, the weekly is also just clearly bearish, so we don't really want to, let's say, call the reversal on the dollar yet, as there is just still potential for it to head down a little bit lower. Now, looking at the monthly time frame, I'm still of the conviction that we will in the near future see a further rally on the dollar up higher, but I'm just not sure if the dollar is ready to push up higher at this specific moment in time. Okay, so therefore I still see from a technical perspective EURUSD push up a little bit higher, and also looking at, for example, an AUDUSD, I also see that to potentially push up higher as well. We can clearly see that a lot of liquidity got grabbed, for example, underneath this low and underneath this low, and since then we've now broken the overall market structure again, and the overall, let's say, direct order flow is continuing to push up higher. Now, once we broke a daily fractal high, and a daily fractal high is this little high over here, just for you guys to understand, that is then your overall sell before the buy that is in control. And then throughout last week, we were inside of that sell before the buy, and that then pushed the market up higher again. So what I'm now looking at is for that overall order flow just to continue pushing us up higher, and for AUDUSD to pretty much reach that overall next swing high, which is the blue dotted line of around 0.6688. That is pretty much what I have next for AUDUSD. Now, the same goes for around GBPUSD. GBPUSD was looking good for shorts. However, we just can clearly see that the overall momentum is not really favoring our short positions as of yet. Looking at GU at this point in time, it is still, for me, pretty much the most bearish pair, also just because I'm a little bit more bearish on the pound overall. But what we can see here is the break of structure down, and then here we have the premium versus discount tool drawn in. Now, in the past, what happened is that the market came back up in towards this liquidity point over here, grabbed the liquidity, and then it started to push in towards the downside. But you can just clearly see there's not really any, let's say, conviction in the overall push in towards the downside. You have for the more kind of like 1, 2, 3 lows. So you have a 1 low, a second low, a third low, and now we're driving back in towards the highs. So for now, what I'm monitoring is just this high over here. That's the next high to get taken out, and then based on how we react to that high, will we push down lower. But for myself, I would favor GBPUSD to head up a little bit higher and then take out this blue dotted line over here, which is kind of like the next liquidity point, because for myself, this liquidity point over here has now been taken out. Right, so this bump in the road has now been taken out by this reaction in towards the downside. It provided us with a reaction, nice 200 pip push down, but just not enough to really fuel the next lower low. So what I'm now waiting for is for market to kind of like restructure itself again, maybe continue in towards the highs, then give me the 4-hour change of character or the daily change of character again, and then look for a sell position from this liquidity point over here, and then you could place your stop loss above the overall swing high, and then again you can kind of like try to target the overall lower low, because at some point in time I do see kind of like a bigger rebound on the dollar happening in general. So that's what I have for GBPUSD. Yeah, for me, I do kind of like in the short term still see a little bit more further upside, and we just want to be following the overall direct order flow in towards the highs. And again, the 1 low, the second low, and then the third low, and then we have the continuation in towards the upside, so kind of like the descending channel, and then we see us pushing up higher. And then this for me is a very significant swing high, that blue dotted line. So I would like to get that hit and then look for an overall reversal back in towards the downside, following that overall daily swing structure. That's GBPUSD. Moving into NZDUSD, we can see that NU reached that blue dotted line, which I highlighted as well yesterday. Nice to see the overall momentum continuing here on NU. For now on this, so NZDUSD for me is a little bit more unclear, I would say, as opposed to, for example, AUDUSD. For NZDUSD, I would just favor it to push up higher still and take this blue dotted line next, unless we see some significant reaction from the current liquidity point, but not really seeing anything at the moment. So I would, for us, prefer to continue into that blue dotted line and then push up in towards this kind of like zone of supply over here, which took out liquidity here to the left. So what happened on NZDUSD is that it liquidated this here, and then we have built up liquidity over here. Didn't make the connection with the imbalance candle that we have here. So I would like for NZDUSD to take that out, and then we could look for an overall correction in towards the lows. Okay, so it's kind of breaking out of this descending trend line at the moment. So let's see, we already had like the 1, the 2, the third tap. So I would love to see the third tap liquidity kind of like get grabbed before kind of like another short position in towards the downside once the dollar maybe gains a little bit more strength, post rate cuts or whatever. So that's what I have for NZDUSD. USDCHF continued its leg down lower as highlighted in yesterday's video. Again, I was very clear on it. USD Swiss momentum is down. Don't fight the momentum, just let it chop down lower and lower. Should move back down in towards a new lower low very, very soon. So that's USDCHF. I don't really need to explain, I think, a lot more on that. USDCAD, what can I say on USDCAD? So USDCAD in general came back up into this area of imbalance. Then what did we have? We had the 1 drive, the 2nd drive, and the 3rd drive. So I'm now looking for a deeper correction back down towards these liquidity lows, this blue dotted line, which is my daily kind of like swing low. So then what would happen is that we would take buy side liquidity. Now we're trying to sell it towards sell side liquidity. So I'm looking for another 100 pip drop on USDCAD that I'm favoring. And let's see, the Canadian dollar still remains slightly weak after Friday's bad labor market numbers. But I'm going to be looking for some more downside, though I must say USDCHF and USD yen have been a lot better in regards to shorts, because if we look at USDJPY, we can clearly see the overall momentum continues in towards the downside, even after the overall retracement in towards the highs. So obviously, Prime Minister Ishiba stepped down as Prime Minister of Japan. Now, that caused the Japanese yen to gap up, and therefore USDJPY to push up as well, or to go for the Japanese yen to gap down and USDJPY to gap up, because the yen was presumed weak over the weekend, pushing gold up higher as well. Then what you see here is that from a range trading perspective, the market then pushes up in towards the 75% region, just back up in towards there. So literally bounced from 25% back up into 75% here at the top of the range. So again, The range trading tool just doing its magic as always. So absolute beautiful scenes. Grabbed the internal bump in the road here, and then it just sells off back down. So I'm looking for this to continue its overall route in towards the lows to take out this low next. So that's what I'm favoring here for USDJPY. Obviously, it's now at a critical level of support, so we could see some manipulation, but overall I'm just favoring another downside push on this. And then of course, last of all, gold continues to push up higher. It saw a little bit of a retracement over the Asian session, which is good because we want to see some manipulation. So yesterday night on the 1 hour time frame, and this is what I mean with manipulation, you can see a wick here getting grabbed, or liquidity getting grabbed, and then the next move up being fueled. Now again, we grab this little liquidity point over here, which is, and with liquidity point I kind of mean like a fake break in towards the downside, right? So you see push up, push down, push up, and then it kind of like creates a fake break of structure, continues up higher. Here, push down, push up, fake break of structure, and then maybe it could just continue pushing up in towards the upside again. Let's keep an eye, preferably I would see a bigger liquidation event, but I must say, sorry, this is quite a strong area of demand as it liquidated something here to the left. So it could also just continue pushing it up, pushing up higher. I wouldn't want to short gold, this beast. So every liquidation event for me is just another opportunity to go long. So I would be looking for more long positions here on gold, back up in towards another all-time high until we see what is going to be a deeper correction where more liquidation will take place. Gold is just moving based on fundamentals. Technically wise, it's impossible to say exactly where the market is going to start pushing up higher, because again, we're trading at an all-time high. So in these kind of market conditions, you just want to be long only, because it doesn't make sense to look for any shorts, as again the momentum is in towards the highs. Just keep in mind, at some point in time there is going to be an aggressive reversal in towards the downside, as happened last time right over here. And then again, you can see the last time we come back down towards this low, and then everybody thinks we have the break of structure, or well, we have kind of like a break of structure, but you can see we liquidate the low, and then again, what you see another push of around, what is it? Let's say, yeah, 1,000 pips back up in towards the highs within a matter of 1.5 days. So keep an eye on that for gold. Yeah, every short or every, let's say, dump is just another opportunity to potentially look for longs. So that's it for today. Today we're going live on YouTube, by the way, guys. And yeah, thanks for showing up every single day, to taking the time to watch these videos. Hope you guys can just leave a like and subscribe to the channel and share it, and leave a comment as well if you watched until the end, just so I know that you guys actually watch these. Obviously, every single morning I put a lot of time into these videos for free, as I've been doing for the past few years. You guys have been on this trading journey with me, and it means the world. And yeah, just try to keep on inspiring and helping you guys as much as possible through these videos. Now, if you want to see anything specific that you feel would help you even more, also let me know in the comment section down below, because I'm just here to help spread love, spread happiness, and yeah, spread success, so that we can all make it together. Thanks, guys, and speak soon.